After this leak came out, we're all pretty much reading down the list and trying to figure out different things from what they're saying is happening in these factories where they're basically creating the switch and then sending it out. And of course, I already went over kind of how powerful the system seems to be, which is very impressive. Again, these are based on leaks that are not confirmed at all, so we are kind of going by what somebody is releasing online. So again, these could all be false, but a lot of it is, like I said before, super specific. And it does seem like they are looking either at a switch when they go to the factory or something like it. But as we read down, there was a part that a lot of people kind of skimmed over. Maybe they missed it, but the fact that the system may be a 4G capable system is interesting because that is not anything that really any of us expected, because Nintendo is not known. I mean, like I said, 4G and Nintendo don't really go together because they have a hard enough time putting together a decent online system with the Wii and then the Wii U. It's very weird to see them kind of take this future-proof approach with a 4G feature on their device. But keep in mind, this might explain the multiple SKUs we're seeing, where we originally thought they're bundles. Maybe one of the SKUs is a Wi-Fi model and the other one is a 4G capable model. So maybe we have a model you go to buy and you can get like a SIM card and put in it. And that's where we're going to come up to some issues here, because not only could 4G be really cool for Nintendo, but there's a good chance, guys, that this could really hurt Nintendo, because if you take into account, like for example, the Vita. When the Vita came out, they had a big announcement. It was going to be you'd be able to use mobile data, like a mobile data carrier, and be able to do things like surf the web and things like that, use Near, but remember, they came up and they pretty much locked you into AT&T. AT&T partnered with them or something. A lot of people really weren't happy about that you were with AT&T and you were stuck with AT&T. And it was a 3G service. At the time, 4G was actually, a lot of people could get 4G at that time when the Vita came out. So 3G was an old technology, and it was a little weird that they did that. But when Nintendo brings this thing to market, if it is a 4G device, if it's capable of using mobile data, to me personally, I think it would be a mistake if they locked anyone into a certain network. What they need to do is bring out the Switch and just make it an unlocked device. It's not hard to do. A lot of companies put out phones now that are just unlocked out of the box. It's not a big deal. They may have to include some extra bands here and there for different parts of the world. However, we're not dealing with any bands that have to do with voice or anything like that. Because I don't think any of us are expecting to make a phone call with our Switch. It just needs to be data compatible, so it needs to be able to use 4G, possibly LTE data. What's interesting though is the Tegra, for a while in its first couple iterations, did not go into phones or anything like that, or even really tablets that were capable of talking with mobile networks, because it just wasn't compatible. They just did not have any way to be compatible with LTE, 4G LTE. Eventually that was fixed. I think with the Tegra 4 they included that, so since then it has been compatible with 4G LTE networks. And it's just weird to see that Nintendo may be taking an approach with 4G. Now, what that means is when you're with your Switch, if you have the 4G model, you have a compatible SIM card if it is unlocked, like a T-Mobile, for example, or an AT&T or something like that, and you have it put into the system. All of a sudden now, you could pretty much surf the web. You could do things like go to the shop, update things with, like, I don't know if you have like Twitter on there or something. There's a lot of stuff you can do from your essentially your tablet. Then it's almost a tablet basically at that point. It remains to be seen if you can play games on the go with that. Because keep in mind, there is input lag essentially, because when it sends a signal, you're going to be set with ping that's anywhere between 50 to 200 pings sometimes, depending on how far away you are from the tower, because it has to send the data wirelessly to the tower and then receive it. Now, on cell phones, of course, we can play things like mobile games, like MMOs. They do exist, real-time MMOs, on the phones, but again, your ping does tend to be higher if you're not near a Wi-Fi hotspot, like at home with your router. But it is playable. Like, you can do it. I don't know how well a game like Splatoon, for example, would work, because that's based a little more on, like Twitch shooting, not shooting, but it's more real time. It's very fast paced and things are happening. So it's hard to say if that would work. But this 4G confirmation, it basically says one sentence, it says 4G confirmed. Tells me that I don't think my original pricing is correct. I said it might be $250 out of the gate, and I think I have to take that back. I honestly think, after looking at the power that they're trying to put in this thing, again, based on this leak that's not confirmed, but if we're to take this leak seriously, and like I said before, it's very specific, so it seems like something we can, I think the system's going to launch with 2 SKUs. I think we're going to get a $300 and then a $350 SKU. $300 SKU should be just Wi-Fi. $350 will probably be Wi-Fi with 4G capabilities. So if you get the 4G model, you don't have to use 4G, but the option is there with Wi-Fi, of course. So I assume if it's unlocked, you get a SIM card from your carrier. Again, T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, you can just buy, if you're already on the network, you can just get a data SIM and add it to your plan. I believe they also do pay-as-you-go data as well, where you buy a SIM card and you put data essentially on it. So that's the other thing. I don't really know how much we're going to be able to download, because we would hit our data caps very quickly if it's a 2 to 4 gig data cap. I mean, some of these games you might not even be able to download at all if they're 6, 7 gigs, and I'm sure some of them that may be on the marketplace may exceed 10. So I don't know how we would do that. I don't think it'll be used for that. I think it'll be used for communication and things like that. Surfing the web, of course. Downloading patches, possibly downloading patches. If they have a cloud save system, that would be huge, because we'd be able to access our saves then through the 4G network, because saves are only usually 1 to 2 megs at the most. And you could access your saves from the cloud or back them up to the cloud while you're on the move, which would be really cool. So, but I don't think the pricing is going to be the $250 I originally thought. I think we're going to have a $300 and then a $350 price. I think $300 for this machine, if it is what they say it is, where it may be close to the Xbox One in terms of power, maybe not exactly, maybe a little less, but if it's able to do that and on the go, and then plugged into the dock, of course, become what essentially would be a powerful system, I think a $300 tag is fair, because you're buying a hybrid, a system you can take with you, one you can leave home. $350 gets you one that gives you 4G capability on the go. That gives you a lot more functionality than either the PS4 and the Xbox One at that point, because now you can take the system with you and you can still communicate, you can still download your saves if you go on a trip, you know, and you have 4G and you're in 4G area, you could still get everything. It seems like a good system if this is all true. Again, if it's all true, that's what we're going to find out. So in January, I'm sure they'll come out and they'll give us pricing. They might not give us specs, but they'll give us pricing. They'll show us games, all this stuff. Honestly, guys, we might not know specs until it's here on my table and we're taking it apart. That's just the way it is. We might not know specs until then. So, yeah, I'm excited for the idea of 4G. If nothing else, then to show that Nintendo is embracing the future. Because right now, everything that I'm seeing here, none of this sounds like Nintendo. It's the weirdest thing. It's almost like somebody else has like grabbed the reins of Nintendo and is steering them towards like the future, essentially. Like this is not normal Nintendo behavior right now. If these specs are true, it just isn't. It's not something Nintendo would normally do. So I'm very happy. I hope their online service is good. That's the other thing we're gonna have to try to get into here. But 4G is a good thing for Nintendo, and I hope that is the case. I hope it is confirmed, and I hope it comes out and we have 2 options, a 4G and a Wi-Fi. But like I said, 300 to 350 is probably gonna be the pricing. I'm gonna keep going on this list, guys. We'll talk about the Joy-Cons next and some other things. So I'll see you then.